Previously, in the land of the wolf, the 7 pups of the Manatus pack gradually revealed their personality to us. The trust placed in us by their mother White-Paws reassured them. We managed to film interactions between the young and elder members of the family. The pups are growing visibly, just like Ginger's kits. We will continue our observations by trying to identify the differences and similarities between these 2 wild dog species. We hope the upcoming arrival of September will also allow us to meet up with old acquaintances, like our handsome Lancelot of the Lake. This year, the forest road crossing the area where Ginger raises her young is used only by wild animals and us. Our fox friends sometimes do things that White-Paws pups would never do. If one of them would have ripped a valve off, since the mother does nothing to curb the curiosity of her offspring, I created a version. Fox kits love new games. This reckless squirrel is a much more natural distraction. I have often managed to establish a bond of trust with foxes simply by using games. If I think of Ginger, she was very open to these interspecific contacts, and she encouraged her kits to develop them. This vixen integrated us into her daily life in a truly exceptional way. We were practically family. Red foxes are intelligent enough to seek friendship from humans, provided they benefit from it. For Ginger, it was the fact that our presence kept at bay birds of prey, bears, lynx, fishers, and wolves. She saw in us a shield against all species dangerous for herself and her kits. She went hunting with peace of mind when we were with her young. When, in addition, the walking scarecrows proved to be imaginative play companions, why not seal a lasting alliance with them? Obviously, the wolves' trust in us was much more limited. No way for me to play with the pups or walk among the family gathered in the dead-end clearing. Without the support of White-Paws, Kami and Hiawatha might never have allowed us to observe the young. What made our adventure with these wolves so extraordinary was that the alpha female tolerated us without finding any concrete advantages. In April, I made her an oath to work for the protection of wolves. If she opened for me the door to her world, I needed her to help all members of her kind. Even though she could not understand the true scope of our spiritual connection, I think she recognized, instinctively, the importance of letting us observe her family. This morning, the pups are relaxing after a night of activities with their parents. Like the fox kits, the young wolves have adopted a rock for watching and playing. Big Red sits enthroned there like a little king. After Gamina, it is Gamini's turn to attract the attention of his brother. Here comes the lovely Mindy. White-Paws can be proud of her litter. The alpha female keeps her promise, and I will keep mine, for the future of Kitchi, of Robin, and all the wolves. It is time for me to let the manatee rest and go back to my fox friends. I notice that the high hills where Ginger lives continue to be popular with moose. It is always with a keen interest that the vixen and I observe these noble giants. I notice how the moose calf has grown. Its molted fur is now identical to that of its mother, who is slow to wean it. The wonderfully soothing atmosphere that reigns in these places invites us in a land beyond time. A free spirit. a serene heart. Each of us will let ourselves be overcome by the sweet torpor that slowly invades us. And while I travel to the land of dreams, the warmth of the day gradually awakens the insect world. How much nectar is gathered from the spotted Joe pieweed. Dozing like this in the company of foxes would be unthinkable with wolves. Ginger is so close to me that I can hear her grooming. No one will ever believe me when I tell this story. It is hard for me to leave my second family. In the dead-end clearing, the wolves' resting period in the open is drawing to a close. The temperature is rising. It is in the cool of the forest, far from the cameras, that White-Paws and her pups will spend the rest of the day. Visibly, Kitchi and the other pups ate well, compared to what we observe in most packs. Their round bellies did not just depend on blueberries. The Manatee Pack territory was home to a lot of prey. It's true. However, the well-being of the family rested largely on the hunting skills of White-Paws and Hiawatha. Supported in their efforts by Comey and Lewis, the parents devoted themselves to feed the pups without ever calculating the kilometers they traveled daily, including the grueling return trips to the den, the stomach full of food they regurgitated to their pups. Not to mention the long hours spent motionless among mosquitoes, on the lookout near beaver ponds. Rain or shine, they had persevered by relying on the abundance of beavers. Some wolves, like White-Paws and Hiawatha, develop a special skill for tracking down these rodents. They first identify the best places to ambush. When heavy rains damage the dams, luck shifts to the side of the wolves. It is well known that beavers absorbed in urgent repairs relax their vigilance. In 2010, White-Paws and Hiawatha accomplished their mission brilliantly by ensuring the growth and good health of 7 young with insatiable appetite. As soon as the pups are strong enough to follow the adults, the latter regularly bring them along. These walks combine business with pleasure by teaching the ABCs of the wolf life to the new litter. This apprenticeship lasts several months, or even longer. In truth, a wolf only reaches sexual maturity at around the age of 2, and sometimes later if it is a male. Quite a contrast with the autonomy a red fox acquires from its first autumn. Hiawatha invites the young to follow him. The expedition has its uses. It allows the father to measure the agility and endurance of his pups. Crossing the piles of forest residue cluttering the plantations is not as simple as it seems. Gamini tries unsuccessfully to get around the obstacle. After 2 kilometers, Robin, Kitchi, and Gamini lag behind. The pack leader must slow down. Kitchi smelled an odor that had escaped his father. It would be bold to approach the bear, but there is nothing stopping him from watching it from afar. He just needs to find a gap between the trees. The bristling fur on the young wolf's back proves his strong emotion. All things considered, a bear is not that scary. Kitchi easily finds the trace of his family. Not far away. Gamini has the chance to hear and observe a bull moose in rut for the first time. The moose, overtaken with panic, greatly impressed Gamini and Mindy. The wolves who stayed in the dead-end clearing manifest their presence. The rest of this adventure will be part of the mysteries of the night. From now on, each of Ginger's kits ventures alone into their mother's territory. Prey abound. The young fox learns to provide for itself. The conquest of independence represents one of the most exciting periods of its life. It's also one of the most dangerous, because lack of experience can be fatal, especially if the manatees are lurking around. In the land of the wolf, an attraction naturally arises between the red fox and the moose. It grows slowly through encounters, sometimes leading to a tete-a-tete between young. Sniffing the other's muzzle is allowed at the age of innocence. In terms of camaraderie with other species, it is not wolves who lead by example. This young bear learns this the hard way, even though its only mistake was to venture too close to the manatee's rendezvous site. Having taken refuge in the heights to escape the fangs of Hiawatha and Komi, he finds itself besieged by the pack. No one can say how long this will last. The pups quickly forget the intruder who is swaying in the wind. The elders present on the site, Hiawatha and Komi, will continue to watch the bear. What touches me about the wolf is the very active role of the father, which goes beyond that of leader. A breeding pair, like that of White-Paws and Hiawatha, remains united for life. It devotes itself to its family throughout the year, sharing trials and joys, in a total and exemplary complicity. A wolf pack is a closed family unit where outsiders are rarely welcome. It happens that wolves are killed by their peers for various reasons linked to the defense of the territory or reproduction. The law of wolves may seem cruel to us, but it perfectly manages the populations of this top predator. It is very poor knowledge of wolves to believe it is necessary to control their numbers by hunting and trapping, because in addition to territorial conflicts, there are diseases, parasitic infections, famine, and accidental injuries which contribute to the high rate of natural mortality within their populations. The territoriality and family life of red foxes seems simpler. Ginger had a shy mate, whom we did not have the chance to observe very often. We know that male foxes hunt to feed their mate in the spring, and that they are good fathers to their young. The pair collaborates throughout the breeding season. Subsequently, in fall and early winter, male and female go separate ways for a few months, until the new mating season, which generally occurs in February at this latitude. To conclude, wolves and foxes have many behavioral differences, but these two wild dogs have in common the devotion of the father and mother for their young. The formation of a lasting pair and the sharing of parental responsibilities are not the only models that work, as many other species we have observed in the land of the wolf have proven to us. while the loving calls of a bull moose resonate in the distance. The 3 juvenile wood ducks we have been observing since the beginning of summer are unrecognizable. Their mother left them a while ago. Each of them is now responsible for its own destiny. This morning, they covet a delicious prey hidden underwater. Will the arrival of His Majesty Lancelot of the Lake disrupt the fishing birds? For now, nothing seems to distract the great blue heron. So what is this catch? A freshwater gastropod. The mystery clears up. I never imagined that wood ducks could delight in such large mollusks. With such beakfuls, their appetite is quickly satisfied. Soon, the young wood ducks will leave their pond to fly south. The voice of a cow moose excites the king, who immediately goes looking for her. Ah, this dear Lancelot of the Lake. In moose, ducks, and many other creatures, the male plays no role with his offspring. That does not make them any less interesting to me. In the next episode, I invite you to share some exciting moments with the Manatus pack. Observation will allow us to know more about each of the young wolves as their learning continues under the guidance of their parents. And Comey, a moose we thought we would never see again, will make a brief appearance in the muskox area. A thrilling end to the season in the land of the wolf.
Mahingan